How'd you get that cut on your forehead?
I really need to talk to Cassie.
You're losing it, buddy.
Who are you talking to?
You blew it. Now he knows you're Looney Tunes.
I'm advising my client to stop this interview.
I'll ask you again, how did you get that cut on your head? Your blood type is the same as the blood on this t-shirt.
I fell, okay, I fell.
Come on, buddy, do better.
How did you fall?
I really do have a lot of work to do. Tomorrow is a very big day.
Then talk to me.
Fuck,
Cut
don't
to the
shut
head
up
really
now.
bleed out.
Come on.
Insist we stop the interview.
Come on.
Shut up!
Shut up! I'm fine.
That's a clip from Eric, and I'm delighted to say I've been joined by its star and its executive producer, Benedict Cumberbatch. Hello, Benedict.
Hi, Simon. How are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
I don't think you've been on the show since you punched Mark in the arm. It's one of my favourite moments.
It
on the
does always
show.
get brought up. Not by Kira ever. I mean, I did that and, failed to get her attention, but there we go.
Okay.
Never
Well,
have to
anyway,
do
it was
again
one of those radio moments that people say, "What did happen?
Did it actually happen?
Did it actually happen?
Was it pre the day that we filmed those things, or was it actually on camera?
I don't know, because in radio studios you're never quite sure whether it's been
right.
filmed or not. But anyway, it's out there in
Mark's been
myth.
very kind to me since, considering physically abused him. It was a gentle tap. Let's be honest. It was.
He said it wasn't that gentle. Anyway, introduce us to Eric. You aren't Eric. You are Vincent. But introduce us to the world which you've created here on this Netflix show.
So Vincent Anderson is son of a property magnate and socialite mother, pretty loveless childhood, and he's 10 years into a marriage and a show that he's created that are both sort of in crisis. The show is needing, the corporation behind it needs more fashionable entities in it, and he's put his identity into this show. He's both a puppet creator and a show creator and an operator of one of the lead characters, Bug. In this idealized version of a New York gaggle of misfits in Central Park. And it's sort of, for those who know Sesame Street, it kind of takes over from where that early literacy and numeracy ends rather. It's kind of the next iteration of that in a way, but very much its own thing. Didn't tread on any of Jim Henson, God as he is, his trademarks. Were very careful to all the designs. Actually, it took a lot of effort, but it kind of spurred ingenuity to avoid any kind of copyright, exactly. But it means it is an all new cast of puppet characters, which, I don't know, maybe there's a spin-off there somewhere on Netflix, because it was gorgeous to do that part of it. Gorgeous to...
Tell me because when the show starts, there are 6 parts. I've seen all of them.
Yeah.
When we see you as a puppeteer for the first time, it's a very joyous moment. The fact that the show might be in crisis, we don't know, but it instantly, if you've been brought up on Sesame Street and the Muppets, you go, okay, I understand this.
Yes, completely. And yet to actually be lying on your back with a headband that has the microphone attached, with your arm inside an inanimate object that you're animating, and creating that magic in real time to a camera, which is with a reversed image monitor. So you're watching what you're doing rather than the puppet and the interaction with the other puppets. You're watching the performance as it's being broadcast or recorded. Is just, what a gift to be able to learn to do that at the age of 47. It's one of the magic things about my work is I get these moments of skill acquisition I would otherwise not have. And it was joyous. It was really good fun. Hard, difficult, really skillful stuff that we're trying to...
Using some muscles that you hadn't used before, I imagine. Because that's a very unnatural place to be performing.
Literally, your shoulder, everyone's shoulders are like, oh, crap. You just imagine it's going to be completely kind of lopsided for the rest of your life. But it was... we were definitely taken through our paces by professionals who know exactly what they're doing, not least Ollie, who operated Eric, the walk-around puppet.
Right, so now let's get to... So Eric, the puppet, explain what happens.
So yes, the show's in crisis. It needs a new character, and his identity's under assault because it's got to be cool and hip and to do with a sort of fashionable thing, which this show isn't. It's an innocent thing that exists on its own terms. And like I said, he's invested so much of his personality in it that he feels already like disabled by this kind of critique of it. And he takes that argument, that toxicity, into his relationship with his kid, who's trying to show him a drawing of a new puppet that he's had an idea for. And he's kind of ignoring him because he's lost in his own toxic relationship with his work colleagues. He's been pretty toxic in ignoring and not seeing his child. He then takes the grievance home. He sort of quizzes the kid to try and elevator pitch the monster, Eric, onto the show. And just is behaving abominably. But it's fueled, as you learn through Abby's beautifully layered writing, by a very, very damaged and traumatic time as a child, where he had a mental episode of a mental health issue, and it was just in a very brutal way treated with zero love and a lot of pharmaceuticals, and he's never really recovered. So that child in him to flare up, act out, is just there, and it damages everyone around him. And then his child goes missing the next morning on his way to school, and the sort of crime thriller drama centers on that. But in the midst of it, you have a man who then completely falls off the precipice of alcoholism, of drug abuse, and a psychotic split whereby the ignored creation of his son, he feels, might be the only way to communicate with him in the beyond or wherever he's got lost into. And he starts to try and create this puppet to bring to the show. But in the process, his marriage implodes, his work implodes. He's also made homeless and goes on this really, really dark journey.
Yeah, descent. Really.
Descent, yeah, dark night of the soul, basically.
So the Eric,
literally and figuratively.
So we're kind of with you when Eric,
and Eric then manifests, right? So he becomes this psychotic split. It's so obsessive for him that it becomes a real thing, as psychosis does manifest for those who suffer from it. And look, he's sort of a broader swathed iteration of what we all struggle with: the internal voices, the dilemmas, the persecutory complex, the nanny. You know, he's everything from Mary Poppins to an enabler, this creature. And it's all out of Vincent. He is basically, through the brilliance of Edgar's drawings, manifested through Vincent's artistry, this thing of his psyche.